All right, guys, welcome to the third episode of the Parade Planners podcast. It's been a little bit, but we're finally back after five Leafs games. First, I just want to pay tribute to George Armstrong, pay respects to his family. Hope everyone's doing good. It's a sad loss. The last captain to actually win the Stanley Cup with the Leafs, so it's kind of sad. Also, we've been looking at the statistics for our last two episodes. We've noticed that we have some viewers from Germany, the United States, and the United Kingdom. So we wanted to give you guys a shout out. Thank you for listening. All right, so let's get started. Let's talk about the Toronto Maple Leafs as we always do. So, what were you guys' thoughts on the last five games?
Um, well, I thought that they played well. Can't remember the I think second Edmonton game or the first Edmonton game. First Edmonton game, that game was horrific. That game was boring. It's supposed to be offensive led, but they were just both sloppy.
Oh yeah, that was the first Edmonton game, bro. That game was so boring to watch. I like
That's
literally I was
it was
falling
a
asleep. I was like, what's even going on in this game?
Yeah, it was slop. It was so sloppy. I came home from work. I'm watching. I'm like, what is it? Like, what are we like? And then the super penalty call on Muzzin that happened, which was like, well, what the happened there? I'm like, what kind of dumb penalty was that? That cost us the game. Plus the
Oh, we'll
special
talk about the
bounce,
refs.
which
Don't
was
worry. These refs have been out of control, man.
too out of control. And then what game? The Calgary game on Sunday. They played. I think they played well, but not what they could not not as well as they could play. And then also the second Flames game was a really good one. The first period was a nerve wracking. Um, the first period was really good, and the second two periods after that were iffy, but they were okay. Uh, we'll get to the Kachuk incident later on, and also the Edmonton game that happened last night would be they played good for the next two period, but the refs shifted the momentum to Edmonton side. So yeah, the refs were horrific last night. Let's to get to say the least.
Man, as much as like the play hasn't been like to the level we're expecting, like it's been sloppy here and there. They've taken their foot off the gas, but the thing is, they're still what like 7-2, I think, or 6-2. Like they're doing really well. They're still closing out games, still getting the wins, which is like the most important thing.
The thing I like about this team is they're finding ways to win. They're tired. They've been on the road for like I think they played like 7 games, like 14 nights or 12 nights, something like that. And they're finding ways to win. Last year it was all excuses. Like we were tired. We were putting our foot off the gas. It's not like that anymore. They're playing well. They're not playing exponentially well, but they're playing okay, and they're finding ways to win. And that's where I feel like Wayne Simmons and all those like guys who came in like BC even like with I think it's 5 6 years of experience now. He comes in and they're having more experience in order to like win these kind of games because they need that. Like last year, who was it? CC, Barry. Those guys never actually won a thing. Well, Thornton and Simmons, like Thornton made Thornton made it. Simmons, I think, made it to the finals in 2010 with the Flyers, but I'm not too entirely sure about that. They've known how to win, so I think that's what's valuing the group a lot with them.
Yeah, and like Sportsnet tweeted out like one of their fancy stats. They're like, oh, Leafs in their first 9 games of the season have all their games have been decided by 2 goals or fewer for the first time since 1967 and 1967, or 1966 to 1967. So all I'm saying is, you know, this hasn't happened since the last time we won the cup.
Man, that means they're definitely winning.
Hundo.
Hopefully this COVID stuff is done though, because if they win and there's a parade, like I need to be there.
Trust. But yeah, like so in the last 5 games, I'm not going to talk about the first or the Oilers game 5 games ago, because that one was horrific, like Jaskran said. But like the last 4 games, the Leafs have like defended. They haven't defended perfectly in the third periods, but like even though um, they're getting ton of shots against in the third period, they're still finding a way to win. And that's where guys like Simmons, Bogosian, like those hard hitters that are not known for their skill come in. You know, they help you shut out those games.
Tell me, it doesn't feel like for once like the whole team is actually like clicking together for the same goal.
Yeah, it feels like everyone's on the same page. Like last year, it was like everyone like had their own style. Some were offensive, some were thinking defensive. This year, it feels like everyone's like coordinated. You know?
Especially like last year, we weren't getting depth goal scoring from our depth from the third and fourth line. Now it feels like we are. Boyd scored the third goal in the Flames' first game or second game. I'm not sure. The second game, I think. Um, I hope Angva and McKay get on the board, but Simmons has scored in 3 straight games. They gain depth goals, which matters a lot, like down the stretch, because these big four can't always score the goals. They're meant for scoring the goals, but not all the goals. And it's nice to have depth goal scoring. Like all these teams, like had like Robert Thomas, Blake Coleman, Yanni Gord, all the Patrick Maroon. They've had like Tampa and St. Louis, the last two Stanley Cup winners have a lot of depth goal scoring. So it's really nice to have that once like it's nice to have that.
Yeah, like that was a big problem last year. It felt like in like the playoffs and especially throughout the whole season, it was like if the big four doesn't score, they lose the game because nobody else is scoring. Like you need your depth guys, you need your guys in your bottom six, your middle six, even your defensemen to chip in and help out to take the load off the big guys. Because the big guys will show up, but they can show up for a couple goals. But if the other team has their depth guys scoring, what are you gonna do then? Like you can't have Austin Matthews scoring 3 goals a game to win you the game every single night.
Yeah, and this is happening even without Joe Thornton and Robertson in the lineup, right? It's guys like Boyd, even Spezza, right? Spezza's not playing that many minutes, but I think last game he had 2 points or something.
Yeah, he's been really good, man.
Yeah, and like I like what Keith's doing. Like he has Boyd, Engvall, Barbanoff, Anderson, all 4 of those guys rotating in and out of the fourth line, and it's like making it super competitive.
Even with Dermot, he's not giving Dermot the solidified spot in the third pair. He's switching Letton out, bringing Dermot out, or bringing Letton in. Sorry, and he's making Dermot push harder and harder to get that spot because he's been there for 3 4 years now, and he's got the same pace, like trying to figure out what he's gonna do in the NHL. But now Keith trying to push him instead of like having him like on a solidified role, he's trying to push him, which is why I think is most important for Dermot's progress. Cause also I think Sandy needs to get a chance too. I think he's been sitting for a long time. It's not good for his growth at all, especially with the age or not beginning for like I don't know how long.
Yeah, well, like at least like on the bright side, he's still practicing with the guys, but I think he'll get his chance. Like you look at the forward core, like we got 2 big injuries up front, Nick Robertson and Joe Thornton. Like hopefully, knock on wood, the D core doesn't get injured, but injuries are gonna happen in this COVID season. Someone's gonna get sick. Someone's gonna have to rest. They're definitely gonna be resting guys here and there. Like I can see Muzzin with his injury last year, or Bogosian taking a rest, like when there's a long stretch of games, and that's when Sandy don't get his chance, right?
I think this is the first year where like even if we get one injury on defense, I'm not going to be like shitting bricks, because we have capable defensemen waiting to play.
You won't have Martin Marincin coming in.
Bro, I cannot believe we got rid of him. Fine. Actually, he's still in the team, right?
Yeah, it's on a team.
Oh
I
my
think he's
god.
Bro,
signed for
he
next 2 years. I think
he's gonna be here until he gets a ring, man. He's getting a ring from the
he's
Maple Leafs
getting one.
somehow.
He's a go, yo.
Honestly, if we win with Marincin in our lineup, I'm 100% getting a jersey of his. No
All right,
doubt.
I'm holding you to that.
Oh god.
Yo, he's like the Jody Meeks, yo. Like the Raptors had Jody Meeks.
Yeah, like Jody Meeks, or they had like Jeremy Lin, who literally just sat on the bench.
Jeremy
Jamie.
Lin, bro.
Yeah.
It's all good. He's a good luck charm.
Yeah. Yeah. To add to that, yeah, I think they should give like more depth defensemen, playing time. Get them in the lineup. Give like Bogosian a break because they need experience, as Jaskrin said, like with Sandine and stuff. It's good for his growth. He could potentially. I'm not gonna I don't want to say this, but like he could potentially replace Riley. Hopefully not. Hopefully that doesn't happen too soon. But like just throwing that out there because like if Riley leaves, I think his contract is up this year, right?
Yeah, I
This
think it's
upcoming
next
summer.
year, but it's gonna be
That's
tough
next
to fit him in.
summer.
It's gonna be really
That's
tough to
next
fit him
summer.
in.
As I said, we also have him in this upcoming season, I'm in the unrestricted free agent coming to the end of the season, I think too. So they got to sign Hyman as well, and they got to sign Riley at the next end of next season as well. So it's gonna be a tight budget, and also the expansion that's coming up. So that's a big key as well.
Yeah. So like they need to like start playing these young players to get them more experience and stuff, and so they can contribute more to the team. And I feel like that's a good growth and development process.
That's why I'm sad
And
about like Robertson's injury, because like with everything that's been happening like with our forward core, he would have had so many good chances to prove himself throughout the lineup.
I feel bad for him because especially like when he stayed here until after even after when they got eliminated, he stayed here just to practice, to like rep shots, get in the weight room, do everything he can. Like even Keith said that. Keith like he's been here since the end of that playoff. What do you want to call it? End of playing round, where we got eliminated. He's been in the training, was going hard at it, and to have him have like 1 2 shifts and get injured is just, if you just feel bad for him because it just I don't know, it's just horrific for what he's been doing throughout the whole season, off season. Sorry.
Also, sorry, I just wanted to add one thing I forgot to say in the beginning. Nadim is actually not going to be here this week. He's busy with work and school and all that stuff, so he'll be joining us next week. Um, yeah. So, anyways, what have you guys been thinking about the special teams so far?
Yo, I had my doubts at the start of the season when they were talking about, splitting up Tavares and Nylander away from the top unit. But man, like after watching Simmons in front of the net and like Matthews and Marner working their magic, like having more touches, it's insane. Cause like I have the stats in front of me. Um, I think the Leafs power play is second in the league for efficiency,
Wow,
which
that's
is
crazy.
insane. Yeah, it's
I
second, right
think they
behind
were
Dallas.
yeah, they were saying that Dallas has like what, like he had like, I don't think 6 power play goals, like 9 power play goals, like 4 games. That's insane. Which is, I
Yeah,
don't know where the hell that came out of. And then the Leafs have, I think, 12 and 9 games, which is impressive. Playing like how many games they played in the season.
and I do think a
yeah,
big part of that is Simmons. Like Marner was saying, Marner's like, oh, Simmons is like the best net front presence in the league, hands down.
Better than Kachuk.
I'm gonna say that. Okay, you
We'll
guys can
we'll get to
argue about that, but
we'll get to Kachuk later. Don't worry. But yeah, like honestly, the power play's been amazing. It seems like they're all clicking, they're all moving around, and uh, like it just seemed before last year a lot of times like on the power play they would just stall, and having them split up, even like you said to me and you had doubts, I had my doubts too. I thought stacking your power play like in one unit was best, but like now it seems like they can just send the Matthews unit in, bog down the defense, and then switch to the Nylander and Tavares unit, and they're going against tired defenders. And the thing is, this year as well, we have so much talent that we can actually spread it evenly across both units.
It's good to have 2 power play units and stacking one, because then if one gets tired, if one doesn't produce anything or don't do anything, you don't have to go to a second. Like 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 I seen this last time. I was recognizing last time I was watching the game against Edmonton. Like they were like the Tavares Nylander line came out first, and then halfway through the Matthew Marner line came out. But you can rest Tavares and Nylander and get them out at 5-on-5 after. You don't have to switch to like Kerfoot, McCabe, and all them. And then McDavid comes out, and you have to deal with that mismatch. You can have Tavares come out after and be like, we don't have to worry about McDavid going all over the ice, Leon Draisaitl going all over the ice, which I think it's really good to have two stacked power play units.
Yeah, and it's not like Nylander and Tavares aren't getting their minutes. Like I'm looking at the stats right now, and Nylander and Tavares are fourth and fifth on the team for power play time, and they have. Let me see. I think Tavares is second on the team for power play points, and Willie is third on the team. So, like everyone's getting their fair share of minutes and points.
Yeah, it's working out perfectly. Harmon, did you have anything to add about like the power play?
Yeah, I have a couple of things. So about Wayne Simmons, I think he has a similar playing style to JVR. Like JVR was a big net presence. He used to like score from like like just get those like dirty goals and stuff, those garbage goals. And then he used to like give like a lot of body checks as well. So I feel like they have a similar playing style, and I really like Wayne Simmons. Because he provides that grit, aggressiveness that Leafs were missing, and it's now a big part of the Leafs now. And I also want to say I take back what I said about Marner taking away from Matthews, because now that I see them both on the power play and like the way like Marner shoots now, it's just like wow, like give that man the Rocket Richard, you know?
Yo, what was it that one timer? I think it was against Calgary. Holy crap, that guy had a bullet of a shot.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. He has so much potential there, like not and now that he's shooting more, and I feel like the penalty kill has been very, very, very good. Like I don't know about last game. I didn't watch too much of it, but I know the game before when we versed Calgary and stuff, and then they played like the penalty kill was really good. Like it was perfect. Like I didn't have any, any what do you call it? Any like doubts in my mind that penalty kill was gonna be bad, and I feel like Justin Holl has been a very big part of that as well. Yeah, the way he defends Connor McDavid, that's been a really big factor because I think he shut down McDavid in one or two games. I'm not too sure, but yeah, I feel like Justin Hall is a really big part of the defense core. I don't know if he's gonna get traded or moved or if someone's gonna replace him, but yeah, those are my thoughts.
Yeah, we'll get back to the penalty kill, but like talking about Justin Hall, I also was on the boat of like we should trade him to make room for our other defensemen, but like I was really wrong about that, man. Like Justin Hall has shown up for the Leafs. Like I had all the doubts about him. I didn't think he was gonna be that good, but what actually surprised me is I don't know if this was from a Steve Dangle video or from maybe like a article somewhere, but I remember somebody somewhere I read that he was actually a second round pick. So if you actually take into account that he was a second round pick, he is so much more hype because like we know like if a player is a first round pick or a second round pick and they perform the same as a fourth or a fifth rounder, you're always gonna put more value on the guy that was a higher pick. So like after me finding out that he was actually a second round pick, like it put Justin Hall into a completely different light on top of his actual play. Like it shows me that he had a lot of potential from the beginning, and he's finally getting to show that potential now that he's getting the chance with Sheldon Keefe. Like he was benched for so many games under Babcock, which was such a big mistake because he is killing it right now.
Yeah, I remember last year when before he signed his contract, he was amazing. He was playing like nearly as good as this, and then right after he signed the contract, I don't know what happened, but like he started playing worse and worse, and everyone got pissed. They're like, "Oh, Dubas messed up another one of his contracts," those that bullshit. But yeah, like now that Justin Holl is back to his normal ways, it's amazing. Like this guy's playing 22 minutes a night, second only behind to Riley, and he's playing the most PK minutes as well. So he's super important to this team now.
I have a tweet to read out. It's about Justin Hall's career. So this is trajectory. It's by Jeff Bayet. In 2020 he was drafted. In 2014, no NHL day after college because he went, I think, 3 years or 4 years of college, and he signed an ECHL. In 2015, he signed an AHL PTO, works to NHL deal. In 2016-18, NHL ready, but just chilled in the minors. And 2018, on the backcourt, got 71 times. And 2021, he's a regular NHL defenseman playing the top four for Toronto Maple Leafs. So it shows how much progress he's made throughout his career from going in the second round to Chicago and being able to reach the top four in the Toronto Maple Leafs. It says a lot about the league development system, like how they were able to develop this guy who was in the ECHL, who nobody knew who he was, drafted in the second round in 2010, where Chicago let him go, and like it shows a lot about the league development system in order to like have a guy from 2010 and develop him into a top four in 2021. It says a lot about the development system.
Yeah, like I think it was on the Athletic. I was reading an article maybe about him, but or maybe I think it was about Sheldon Keefe. It might have been. I don't remember, but well, what it said is apparently when Sheldon Keefe and Dubas, actually it was Steve Dangle. Sorry, Steve Dangle said this, but when Sheldon Keefe and Dubas were interviewed by Steve Dangle, they both said on separate occasions that the most underrated players in the organization were number one Zach Hyman and number two Justin Holl. And from what we've seen from Zach Hyman, that is obviously true, and what we're seeing now from Justin Holl, like we know they hit the mark, and we know that, as Jaskar was saying, they completely developed these guys in the perfect way. Also, guys, I have the perfect clickbait title for this episode. It's gonna be Justin Holl for the Norris, so
I
just
love
giving you
it.
a heads up.
I love it.
Gotta have the
Perfect,
clickbait
perfect,
titles, you know.
perfect.
And just to add to your point, like um, it was Dubas that first brought him in 2015 as assistant GM for the Marlies, and then it was Lou that signed him to an NHL contract in 2016. So it was really Dubas's vision the entire time, you know?
And like he won the Calder Cup with the Marlies too, right?
Yeah,
Guess who he's playing beside though? He'll play beside Marissa the whole time. So that says a lot too.
Marincin the goat.
I'm rinsing the goat,
You
yo.
know he's there.
So was it
You know
Marincin
he's
that
there.
carried Hall?
Who knows? They could be the opposite way too.
I changed the title, Marincin for Norris.
I'm dead. But man, like it's so nice just having like whenever I see him on the ice, like I can trust him. I see him and I'm like he does his job the perfect way he needs to. And now like let's circle back to the penalty kill. Justin Hall has been a terrific part of the penalty kill, but Ilya Mikheyev, oh my god, man, this guy's a beast out there. Like I really thought losing like Kapanen and I think even Janssen had some PK time, but Kapanen was a huge part of the PK. I thought it would be a loss, but our PK looks better than ever. Like Mikheyev looks like a hungry animal every time there's a penalty kill. Like I feel like I'm not even scared for the penalty kill because I'm actually excited. I'm like I get to see Mikheyev chase the puck down and stream it right down the ice. Like it's amazing.
I think it's been a good rejuvenation of what we're like used to seeing in the penalty kill, which is what all scrambly and like we're all like disoriented. Where there's a structure put in place, pressure the puck, and like like get in the lane, get in the shooting lane, get in the passing lane, to try to make it difficult for the puck possessor, or you want to call it, or like even breaking into it. So make it harder, make it a structure kind of penalty kill instead of like scrambling all over the place.
That Campbell ad is giving him the soup powers, eh? Yeah, man. I feel like McKay's underrated. I feel like if he plays in the maybe the top six, but I don't think he is gonna be playing the top six. Most likely the top nine, right? That's where he is. Yeah, I feel like he's a very good forward for the Leafs. He can provide both goal scoring and that defensive touch. So it goes both ways. So I think he's like a two-way player, right? And that's what the Leafs need. Is like as you see with like Matthews, like you see him back checking and you see like he's actually maybe listening to Keith like yo like you need to back check more, right? Maybe that's what Keith's trying to tell Matthews, and Matthews actually listening. I
Yeah, man,
like
exactly.
this.
Like everyone's buying into that defensive system, like you're saying. Like they're all back checking to help each other out.
Also, but the only problem I have with the PK is the center not being there. Like that's not recognizing Hyman taking faceoffs again versus McDavid and Drysdale, which I don't like at all. That's not. So for one of the keys to do with what Dubas needs to do is get a center for the penalty kill and maybe shift because Kerfoot's a good penalty killer, but he's a center, but he takes penalties too. Like last night took three, but one wasn't his fault, but well, that's something that's the Russ fault. But yeah, he needs to get a center for the penalty kill, like an elite penalty kill special, and place him on the fourth line so we can have a center just go out there. When I know Spezza can kill penalties, but like have like a penalty kill specialist on that fourth line just to like get him out there, win the face off, and being able to keep him out there for like a good minute or 30 seconds, something like that.
It's tough though because like I feel like our like we have so many options already, and we know they work. Like that fourth line has been really good no matter who gets plugged in. So it's tough, but like we'll see like come trade deadline what they do. Um, I think we got to talk about the biggest event from the last week and a bit, Mister Mister Baby Matthew Tkachuk. What are your thoughts on his little temper tantrum?
Bro, fuck that guy. That's all I
Yo,
gotta say.
honestly, man, fuck Matthew Tkachuk, bro. I hope there's no Calgary fans that are gonna be sad about this, but like, you guys
Nah,
know it's true too. Like, fuck Matthew Tkachuk.
Yo, Calgary fans are gonna be salty yo after listening to this.
But like, he's such a baby, man.
bro, I loved what Muzzin did. Like that genuinely brought a smile on my face.
But like, I
It
remember
was
that whole
it was
game. I was like
so funny.
annoyed at the way the Leafs were playing, and then as soon as Muzzin did that, like, I was so happy. I was just smiling the whole time.
It's
The
like
most
yo,
funny, the most funniest thing because he's he's used to being a pest. Like he doesn't get angry. Like he doesn't get angry at that kind of stuff. But he just went ballistic after. He was doing like a baby pet temper times like he's a 13-year-old or like a 2-year-old trying to get a snack or something.
Bro, remember when Cassian got like super pissed off last year at Kachuk?
yeah, I was just about.
Yeah, right? Bro, like the fact that Muzzin made Kachuk get pissed off like that, love it.
Yeah, if it certainly like develops into that, then that'd be like a new Canadian rivalry we haven't seen before because we were always used to seeing Ottawa and Toronto and Montreal and Toronto, but like yo, Calgary and Toronto is something different, and like it brings like excitement to the game and excitement to that event, and
Yo,
I like it.
exactly, bro. Like, I'm so hyped for the next Calgary game. Like, I know both teams are gonna be so amped to get into it. But yo, like, man, Muzzin, man, I love that guy after that shit happened. The funniest thing is when like Matthew Tkachuk was like throwing his tantrum even on the ice. Muzzin was just looking at him, smiling and laughing. Like it was so funny. And like the saddest thing is
The,
like I feel like his teammates don't even like him, man. Like none of them like really stuck up for him or like they didn't do anything.
yeah, I was listening to a Steve podcast and they were saying that they're so used to him doing that like whatever it's just fine like they're not even gonna stick up for him because it's a regular thing that he does ever so often. Like remember what Dowdy would get in his face. Dowdy's the most like he's the most easy to get under your skin if you know what I mean. Like if you want to mess with him, you can. Dowdy, like Kachuk can get under Dowdy's skin because he's the most like whatever we're gonna call it. Like I don't know what to call it, but it's like he gets under his skin so easily. Like him, like Dowdy, Cassian, and now Muddin. Kachuk, Kachuk, Kachuk didn't get under Muddin's skin. He got under Cassian's skin, but Cassian just kicked his ass. I think he fought Shaw yesterday and got his ass kicked too, which was the most
Wait,
funniest thing
did he
if you
actually
guys
fight
seen it.
Shirai yesterday?
Yeah, he had his ass kicked with Shaw. It's the most
That's so
funniest
funny.
thing.
That's
Yeah,
hilarious, bro. If
cause
Simmons beat the shit out of Sherrod and then Sherrod beat the shit out of Kachuk, Kachuk should be scared shitless to play the Leafs.
yeah, cause Shaw kicked his ass. I think he took to one punch and he just went down to the ground. It's the most funniest stuff. Kachuk getting hammered in the Canadian division because everyone can take him on. That's the only thing.
Such a bitch, man. I hate Matthew Tkachuk. Man, like even when he left the ice like on the bench, he's like hitting the water balls and stuff, and then like you looked at his teammates' faces, they were all like, "What the heck do I even do
Yeah, the
here?"
man threw like a tantrum, bro. I was like, what the hell is this
Bro, he
man
did.
like?
He slammed the door on Giordano. Like, what's
Yeah, he's
happening?
struggling to close it too. Giordano's like,
he
yo,
did.
what the fuck is going on? Poor guy.
He didn't like he did. He didn't even hit anything. He just knocked on his hand sanitizer. Like, bro, he didn't even knock anything down. He just hit the glass. Like, he knocked something down, right?
Giordano was just pissed that he had to go change Matthew Kachuk's diaper after. Oh man, that's hilarious. Alright, well, we should probably move on from Leafs topics. I'll quickly give you an outlook on the next podcast. I'll remind you guys at the end, but they're gonna play Edmonton tomorrow. We'll probably have our next podcast sometime next week before the Vancouver series. But anyways, we haven't had a podcast in a while, so we actually missed some of the biggest news. Pierre-Luc Dubois for Patrick Laine. What do you guys think?
I think it was a good trade for both teams because like both teams were looking to trade those guys out, and both of them were superstars and like everything aligned, you know? Because Columbus needs goals, Winnipeg needs a second line center, right? So like everything aligned, and it wasn't like one team ripped off another, in my opinion.
I feel like Columbus won that trade because they got Jack Roslovic, right? And they got Liney. So I feel like they have a potential like what third second liner, and then they have Liney who's a first liner. So like I don't know, and Liney still has some potential that's not been tapped into, where he can be like a 40, 50 goal scorer, and yeah, I feel like overall Columbus won that trade.
I agree with Harmon. Just because Patrick Ryan is a generational goal scorer that can absolutely rip the puck. Especially that two-way center that they already have, and the ball is already another two-way center. I think they needed a center for Line, and they traded for a center and trade Line with that trade. Um, I think Eaters can be a sniper, but he's more of a playmaker. I'm guessing which what I've like witnessed from him. I don't know who's gonna be on the left wing on the second line, which I have no clue. Or the right wing because Eaters the left wing. Sorry, and then Line Roslovic is what I think everyone forgets about Roslovic in that trade. Roslovic hasn't gotten playing time with the Winnipeg. I think that's why he requested a trade out of here. He's been a great he should be a good third line center, maybe a second line center, which is really good. Also I think that line is gonna put Texier. I don't know if you guys know who that is. I think he's Columbus' number one center at the moment after the ball left. So it should be a great time to pick up Texier in your fantasy league, guys.
Oh yeah, Negan sent that shootout goal, right? That was
Oh
crazy.
yeah, yeah. That guy's underrated, eh? I didn't even know he was their first line center now.
Texier, right?
Yeah,
Like I remember him from the Leaf series against Columbus, and like he was pretty good there too. But I didn't think he was like number one center worthy.
bro. So that's my question now. Like, I swear Columbus has always had the first line center. Um, like they were always missing a first line center, and then they got Dubois, and then now he's gone. So now they're back to square one, even though they got a franchise goal scorer.
To be honest though, like I think they can get away with it. Like you look at the last 2 years in the playoffs, they played amazing against Tampa. They played amazing against the Leafs. Like what I think is like they have a great system. As much as Tortorella has his problems, outside of his personal problems, he's a terrific coach. He implements an amazing system. The whole team plays the way he wants them to. So like we know that Columbus has like the defense. We know they have the structure, and even just adding Line can instantly increase the like. Imagine if in the play-in series we were going against Line and the Blue Jackets instead of Dubois and the Blue Jackets. Like to me, it's scarier to go against Line than Dubois, even though Line is a winger and Dubois the center.
But with the boy, you get the defensive aspect, Lanny. You don't get the defensive aspect.
But that's what I
They,
mean. Like the whole team already has the defensive capabilities. Like it wasn't just Dubois that was shutting down the Leafs. It was
yeah,
the whole
that's
roster,
where,
right?
yeah, that's where you're right. I got it. That's where you're right. But the thing is, the ball made a big difference, right? And like helping them shut down the Matthews line. Like I thought he did a really good job. But yeah, but the structure really there for for the for the Blue Jackets. Like they have the structure to in order to like shut down any team at any moment. Yeah,
Yeah,
you're right.
but
You're right with the ball part though. He wasn't the only reason why the Leafs got shut down last year.
yeah, but I think Winnipeg. I think like the Negan said as well. I think both teams won the trade because they're both phenomenal players. Like I don't know if I would certainly take one over the other because they both bring their benefits. And like to me, Winnipeg got what they needed and Columbus got what they needed. Columbus needed the goal scoring and Winnipeg needed a young center for their second line. And it worked out perfectly. Like to be honest, like who was it? One of those media guys, they said like Winnipeg has the best center core in the North Division, which was complete
That
bullshit.
was that was
Who was
Craig.
that?
That was Craig Button. Even
Um,
I was talking to Harmon. Like what is the idiot saying? Like what do you what like this? I don't like Craig Button.
Yeah, it was complete bullshit. But like I do gotta admit that they have a nice center core now, right? Like they got what Shifley, Dubois, and even Stastny. Like
and
it's a
Lowry
good
too,
one.
right?
It yeah, they even got Lowry. Like it kind of reminds me of you remember the Toronto Maple Leafs with um when they had Tavares and Kadri at the same time. So like Matthews, Tavares, and Kadri to a to a lesser degree. It reminds me of that. So it's pretty good, but I think Winnipeg got a lot better, and I think Columbus both got a lot better. And this is only gonna help my North Division picks with Toronto, Edmonton, Montreal, and Winnipeg. So just so you guys know, I'll probably get the predictions right.
Oh, yo, what happened with Torts? He's talking shit about Dubois or something after, right? He's like, if you don't want to play on my team, I'm not gonna play you.
Yo, to be honest, like I feel like the media was pestering him a lot for these questions. Like I feel like they kept on asking him about Dubois over and over and over again, and like, of course, Torts is gonna snap about it if he's asked the same question like a million times.
Oh, yo, and I also want to mention Lafreniere scored his first NHL goal, so that was a big milestone.
Bro, you're happy because he's on your fantasy team.
Facts. That's
But
why
it
I'm
was a
happy.
it was an OT winner though, so maybe he has that clutch gene.
Bro, it's about time though, you know? Like how many games into the season is it?
It took a while, but I've noticed like a lot of the rookies recently, like they've been a lot slower than like the Matthews McDavid rookies where Matthews McDavid come to the league and rip it up. Like the last couple of years and even Lafreniere now, like they've all had really slow starts.
Yeah, it's true. Like Jack Hughes and Kako. I think Jack Hughes is doing really good this year, eh?
Yeah, he's killing it now, but like his
Bounce
first
back
year was
season.
really weak. Yeah,
Yeah,
bounce back. Is it even a bounce back if he's still like pretty much like 20 years old?
that's true. But what do you call it?
Instead of
Uh,
instead of sophomore slump, he's going to sophomore boom instead.
what do you call it? I think Lafreniere got bumped to the first line, right?
Oh shit, that's good for him. He gets to play with Panarin.
Yeah,
Then
it's good. Good for Harman.
Panarin and him play the same position. They play both play left wing. I don't think they can play the same position. No.
Let me check. Hold up.
Yeah, they play the same position. They both play left wing. No, I think I'm not entirely too sure.
Isn't
Play
James
the other wing too, or no?
doing well this season?
Yeah, he is. He's doing. I think he had like 8 points. I'm pretty sure. 3 goals, 5 assists. If I'm correct. I'm not entirely too sure. I think he had
Man,
eight
there's
points or
one thing
six
like
points.
talking about like the New York lines, talking about Jack Hughes and stuff. As much as it's nice to play the North Division, I kind of miss being able to see some of the stars on the other teams.
Yeah, for sure. Cause it it tells you where the league's at another point at the point where they are. Cause you got the Quinn Hughes, Elias Pettersson, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. Like the North Division is pretty stacked on talent, but you don't get to see the likes of Jack Hughes, Ty Dellandry, or like who scored his first career goal yesterday at the Dallas Stars. You don't get to see like Kirill Kaprizov. He's been doing well. You don't get to see Alex Turcotte. I don't know if he's not playing or anything, but I think he's gonna be really good. Or Trevor Zegras in Anaheim. I hope he played. He was really well in the World Juniors. He did really well. I want to see him play in the NHL one day.
Yeah, for sure. All right, well, before we move on to some other topics, I just saw this on the score right now, but Kevin Fiala actually got a suspension for the boarding on Matt Roy, sorry. Did you guys see that play by any chance? So a 3 game suspension. I just saw the play now. I didn't see it before, but it was pretty bad. Like this guy, they're both battling, skating towards the corner for the puck, and Fiala completely like hit Roy from behind, and his head hit the boards. So I'm glad that at least like they're handing out good suspensions for this kind of stuff because it's dangerous plays, man. We don't want to see these guys getting injured. But anyways, let's move on to Jim Rutherford. Jim Rutherford's finally gone after God knows how many years and what 3 Stanley Cups. Sad to see him go, but maybe it was time, especially after we ripped him off for Kapanen. But anyways, what do you guys think about Jim Rutherford?
Wait, you want 3 Stanley Cups? With who? You want two with Pittsburgh?
Wasn't he there for the first one as well?
Was he?
Like
I don't
he's been the
know.
GM for a while. I'm not sure. I'll Google it, but
No, no, he came from Carolina before. I think when
I'll check. But anyways, yeah, go on your thoughts about Jim Rutherford.
So Jim Rutherford, he was really well. He did good, but at the end he was just bad. Like he made some horrific signings, horrific trades. Like the Jack Johnson signing was the one of the worst contracts I've ever seen. Like Jack Johnson's not good anymore. Why sign him? He signed Cody CC as well. I'm like, and he traded for Eric Branson. I'm like, oh my god, just the worst defenseman in the league. I think he had like Jack Johnson, Eric Branson pairing at one point. I'm just like, oh my god, why do you have that pairing together? It's one of the worst pairings. Um, well, at least Pittsburgh gets to see Cody CC shoot into the corner a lot more than we do, which is some sort of.
Yeah, so I actually
But
checked. Sorry. He won. What I got mistake was he did win 3 Stanley Cups. He won one with Carolina and then 2 with
oh,
Pittsburgh.
so one of the 1, 2, and 6. Okay.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he had a great career. He's a Hall of Fame GM for sure, but he made some terrible mistakes like every GM does. But he made
But
some bad
every
signings.
GM like has their time limit, right? Like you can't be a terrific GM forever. Like
Yeah,
look at
that
Lou.
that
Lou was great in New Jersey. He was decent in Toronto, and now he's starting to shit the bed in the Islanders, like with all these bad contracts and stuff, trading away
the
Devin
Lee
Taves for like nothing.
the
And like the
Leocomo
same thing is with
contract.
Jim Rutherford, right? Like times change, the game evolves, and it's hard to keep up.
You gotta go with the groove, right? You can't just be in your old stubborn old school style, right? That's the thing.
Do you guys know
Like,
why Rutherford was let go?
wasn't it
Apparently,
something
he
about
turned the
how he
tank.
like yeah he wanted to trade
Yeah.
Letang or something, and then
Um,
like
Yeah,
management was not about it.
I read that
Which
rumor, and then in, like, it's a dumb reason for ownership to force him out. Then, is it not?
no, like to be honest, think about it this way though. Like look at like what happened with Chicago. Like you know how they wanted to trade they wanted to trade what's his face Crawford, and like all the drama that happened in
Uh,
Chicago, and how like Taves and Kane were really pissed about it, and like it pretty much like really threw that franchise into a wrench. Like I think what happened is like I'm sure Crosby and Malkin want to keep playing with Letang. Like they've all played together for so long, they don't want to see Letang go. So maybe management realized like we don't want to make the same mistake that Chicago did, and they want to keep competing with their big three core.
you know what? You're right. Because I think during the last Leafs game on one of the intermissions, they were talking about where Crosby would land if they traded him. So I'm thinking if they did trade Letang, Crosby would probably be down to leave too, right? And that would cause so many issues for Pittsburgh.
yeah,
Yeah, that's the thing,
especially
right?
but
Like when you have players like that, you want to keep them happy.
especially with Crosby been there for so long. He's been the franchise cornerstone ever since Mario Lemieux left. Like they've had that constant success with Crosby and Malkin that I think Pittsburgh fans won't be able to deal with what mediocrity is after Crosby and Malkin and Letang leave. Like I would feel bad for that franchise because I think before Crosby and Malkin came, they were going to bankruptcy, and then Lemieux bought the team and brought it to his glory, where they won 3 Stanley Cups in what span of like 6 years or 7 years, I think, or 7 years. Yeah. I'll feel bad for that franchise just because of where they were before Crosby and Malkin came there.
Yeah, but times change. Hopefully they can get a. What I hope is that they get a young new GM instead of like the old boys club of like Shirelli and all these guys. I hope they don't hire one of them. I hope they hire some new faces, get some new blood into the NHL, get some new ideas going. So we will. I wanted to take a minute to talk about. Well, Jazzkarn wanted to go on a rant about Mike Babcock and his return to the NHL.
Oh yeah, Jaskran loves Babcock, right?
You got
Yeah.
a joke. You're just so funny.
All right,
Wait,
man.
wait, wait, wait. Before you start on that, let me I want to mention something about Jim Rutherford.
Yeah, go for it, bro.
So I feel like he found gems. Like I don't know if you guys agree with me, but he found gems like Connor Sheary, Brandon Rust, um,
Jake
you
Gensel.
know yeah, Jake Gent. So he found gems. So he's like that GM that he's like similar, like how like the Toronto Raptors have like Fred Van Fleet, Chris Boucher, like and like OG, like he found gems and that can contribute to the secondary scoring, which is I think he did very well with the with that because they all had a connection with like Crosby and Malkin and stuff, and they all contribute to the team. So I feel like he did a good part there as well. And like one thing he didn't do well, I think, like developing like the younger like prospects and stuff. He didn't really focus too much on that, and I
Yeah,
feel
like I
like
remember
that
they
was
drafted like Ollie Mata and all those guys. Like he's done his good, like you said. Like he found a lot of those gems and stuff, but seems like his external acquisitions, his trades and signings, have been really lackluster, and I think that's really screwed him over lately.
yeah, and yeah, he didn't focus too much on that, and that's why I think was his downfall. Like he didn't have any development development priorities. To think about the future. When Crosby and Malkin are gonna like retire or like their contracts up. Like, what are you gonna do then, right? He didn't
Yeah,
really think about that.
100%.
I think I'm pretty sure they traded every first round pick they've only had a first round pick in 2014 and 2019. I think throughout the decade. So I think
We
that
can
was
thank them for Rodi and Amirov. So
yeah. Hopefully it turns out to be good. And he
okay,
has a
okay.
good shot, but like we'll have to see.
All
What,
right,
like a Panarin,
back.
Panarin 2.0?
Hopefully, man.
Hopefully, or
Hopefully.
Kutra.
All right, back to what we were talking about before. Just starting the stage is all yours for the next. I'll put a timer on so we don't go too long because we're getting pretty deep into the podcast. I will give you 2 to 3 minutes and say whatever you want, man. Go for it.
See whatever I want. Okay, but okay, I have a
Get
problem.
the
Okay,
popcorn ready.
yeah, get the
So for real.
popcorn ready. But I have a problem with Babcock. Okay, the thing is, you want you have success. Okay, but why torture your own players? Why do this? Why do that? Like I don't understand what Pierre LeBron is doing. Even I don't know what NBC is doing. I don't know what Pierre LeBron is doing. He should not be allowed back into the league after what he's done to his players. Like the Mitch Marner incident is just so stupid, so dumb. I don't understand what he was thinking. I screwed you, Mitch. Like what's wrong with you? Like why even have his list out in the first place and tell Bodak, oh here you go. Like that's causing chaos in the locker room and why? And to think that he's been a mental health advocate, you're a hypocrite. That's what you are. You're a hypocrite. Just cause you're a mental health expert or like advocate doesn't mean you can like mentally beat your own friends and where you have to go to a veteran mental like veteran like health facility in order to get him help. It's because of you. You're the one who fucked him over for his like entire career and he couldn't get back to the air just because of you. And he's getting concussion and you didn't have support him whatsoever. I don't get why he's back talking hockey when he should be getting himself help. I don't get what he's doing in the league. Also, I think there's another incident, but I'm not sure what it was, where he fucked over someone's players.
Man, that was quite the rant, man. That popcorn tastes delicious while listening to that. No, but like I'm just kidding, of course. But honestly, you're right. Like I don't think he should come back to the NHL. He is not the type of coach we need for these players. Like he's very abusive. He plays with people's minds. He plays games with their heads. Like you want a coach who's direct and upfront with you and somebody who you can trust. You don't want somebody like Mike Babcock who could like detriment your mental health. Sad.
Especially because you're an advocate, you're being a big hypocrite there. Like if you're advocate, then why are you mentally abusing your own players where they have to go to a veteran facility just to get help? That makes no sense whatsoever. You just ruined the guy's whole career right there and then there.
Yeah, it's messed up,
Yeah, I
man.
don't know what the NBC is doing, bringing him
And
back.
apparently,
Like,
he would pick on like I'm not sure if this is right, but apparently he would pick on the shy guys in the locker room, not the not like the talkative guy, but the shy guys in the locker room who would just come in and be like, okay. We're gonna get ready. We're gonna get settled, and then we'll be able to talk. But he would easily abuse the shy guy, and Johan Franz was one of the shy guys, and I feel so bad for him.
Yo, didn't he bench Mike Madonna from reaching was it 1,000 points or 1,000 games played?
I think it was 1500 game. 1500 game. He has
Oh,
four. He has a
1,500?
14. Yeah, it's 1500. I think only a couple of people beat it, and he benched him at 1499. And I
Wow,
think Mike Miller hates him
that's
guts
so
for that.
that's so sad.
That's messed up. And he even benching Spats in the home opener. That's even more messed up. The 1499 is messed up, but when someone signs to come home and play in front of his kids on opening night and you scratch him, it's just messed up in the head.
you know what's jokes? Like, growing up, I thought Babcock was like the best coach. I thought he was like,
Well,
oh shit.
you were such a big Red Wings advocate. I remember.
Oh man, I was such a bandwagoner back in the day, bro. Because like Leafs would never make the playoffs. Who would I cheer for in the playoffs, right? But like I had no idea that Babcock was like that, you know. And then when he came to the Leafs, I remember everyone was so excited. They're like, "Oh shit, he's the best coach in the league." You know, like he looks like such a good coach for like our core, our future core. And then all of this comes to light, and like, wow, you know.
I can't believe it, man. But like, you can tell just like you look at the Toronto Maple Leafs, how they played under Babcock, how they play under Keith. They did not buy into the system under Babcock. Like, and I did not realize that until watching them play for Keith. Like, so many of their problems that where we talked about, oh, they gave up, they don't play defensively enough, this and that, and it was all because they just did not want to play for Mike Babcock. He's not a good person.
Like when Dermot came out, they had an interview before Keith's first NHL game where they won against Arizona. He came out, he's like, what do you guys like in Keith? He's like, the boys want to play for him. Like, that's a lot. The boys did not want to play for Babcock. They wanted him out, and the boys want to play for Keith. Like, how big of the sentence, how big of that statement that is.
Yeah, like you said, man, it pretty much shows everything about him. But anyways, we could talk about Mike Babcock for hours and hours. We're approaching the 1 hour mark on this podcast, so we should probably just move on to our final topics. Um, I'm sure there'll be more Mike Babcock news to come, and I'm sure we'll give Giscard another chance to rant. For now, though, let's quickly touch on Vince Dunn, and apparently St. Louis
Yo,
wants a whole.
that should
Sorry,
be a
go ahead.
segment, yo.
Giscard's rant corner.
Yeah, yeah. This current's a rant. Give him like 2 3 minutes just to this like fire, shoot the fire, you know.
Dude, I'm
We
down for it.
we found our Steve Dangle, eh?
Dude, especially after
Yo,
like a bad Leafs loss, I want to hear Giscard rant about that.
yeah, so uh, I think I watched a game with Barrage and Harmon. I think in the comeback game 3. Remember that? Remember that
Oh,
game? That
it
was
was like one of the playoff games in
Oh
the
yeah,
bubble,
yeah.
but you were going off. I remember.
yeah. At game, I think it's game 3 was the Columbus. Where we blew the 3-0 lead. I think it was that game.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh man, we'll definitely be sure to do that starting next week. Just Giscard, and keep a mental note. You gotta be ready to have a rant topic for next week. But yeah, let's talk about
I
Vince
try my
Dunn.
best.
Yeah, for sure, bro. Let's talk about Vince Dunn, and St. Louis wants a whole first round pick for this guy. What do you guys think?
Oh yeah, we were talking about how we should tell Dubas to trade Dermott for Dunn. I think that's what we were talking about. Uh, yeah, I don't know. I think he's a good defenseman. And like with with St. Louis signing Torrey Krug and stuff, and like they have who else they have? Justin Falk, Pareko. Yeah, their defense core seems pretty solid, and I think what do they really need Vince Dunn anymore? I think that's why they're probably trading him because like is that why? I'm not sure.
Um, what I've heard, he's more of an offensive defenseman.
Yeah, like
He's
didn't they
been
also get Justin Falk?
Yeah, that's why they couldn't even snap Petrani though, because they got fucked for some weird reason. I don't know why they gave up Petrani just for that. I don't know. That still makes no sense to me. Yeah, but getting back to Vincent, I think what I'm hearing is that he's an offensive defenseman. I think the Leafs don't really need one of those, but he'll be upgrade on Dermott, which is really good. I don't know how I haven't watched him enough and able to tell if he's good in his own zone. Hopefully he is. Yeah, but that's all I know. He's an offensive defenseman. He played a lot. I think Power played 2 times. Petrangelo played 1. I think Vincent played number 2, if I'm not mistaken. And I think he got bumped off for number 2 because of course the break was there.
Yeah, from what I've seen, like he's really similar to Torrey Krug. Like obviously not as good as Torrey Krug, but another type of Torrey Krug. And apparently, according to like the analytics community, he's like an analytical darling. So he drives play, like he's good on both sides of the puck, and yeah. But I don't think the Leafs would need him because like yeah, like he's a good player, but like we have Dermott and Lettinen and Sandin for the third pairing, so it's like it would be
Even
overkill to bring
Bogosian,
those.
Bogosian's been killing it on that bottom pairing.
Yeah, exactly. And then
Who do you guys think would like want him? Like, what team would you think he would be interested in him? Just to
To
get
be
like
honest,
a
like
quick.
what I think is I think it should be a team that's like up and coming. Like I think he could fit on Calgary really well because they lost some defensemen, or even Edmonton. I think those two teams should be as much as it's gonna be hard to get him over the border. I think Vince Dunn will be great on Edmonton or Calgary, as they both have amazing forward cores, but they're looking weak on the defense. But yeah, I agree. I don't know if the Leafs should get him, especially because he's a lefty. We already have like a million left-handed defensemen. Um, he would have to replace either Bogosian, Muzzin, or Riley, which there's no way he's replacing Riley or Muzzin. And Bogosian has really grown on me, so I don't think it's worth giving up a first round pick for him. To be honest, I've been liking Dermott a lot. Like he hasn't shown his worth, but I know Dermott has the skills and the tools. But yeah, like you were saying, just I think Edmonton or Calgary.
I would take it a different approach because, like, I was looking at Calgary's and or Calgary's lines, and they have Noah Hannafin and Mark Giordano as their left-hand defenseman. And then Edmonton, right now they don't have Clefbaum, but when Clefbaum comes back, they have Nick Nurse and Clefbaum on the left side too.
Nick Nurse. I didn't know they got the Raptors coach back there.
Trust. But
Darnell Nurse. Darnell Nurse. Yeah, I know
yeah.
what you meant.
And oh, by the way, Darnell Nurse plays first power play minutes now, eh? Over
That's
Tyson
crazy,
Berry. Yeah. Okay, back to Dunn.
man. Yeah,
My bad. So I would say Winnipeg. No, because doesn't Winnipeg need defensemen?
yeah. You're right. You're right. They lost Truba. They lost a whole bunch of guys.
Yeah, they went to having one of the most stacked defenseman core to like who? Neil Pionk or whatever.
Yeah, I think he'd be a good fit there.
Oh, you know what? You know what I forgot to talk about when they're lining the ball. Can I talk about it now or should I save it for later?
Yeah,
Cause
go for it quickly.
it's a
Go for it
big piece.
quickly.
Okay, so what happened? I think what they were saying is their leadership problem in the Winnipeg locker room. There's butting heads between Line and Wheeler cause Wheeler said himself, he's like, I wish I took a better approach to how I treated Line. Like he has some really good quotes. I don't know, but I read one of them. I was like, I wish I took a different approach. I think it was butting heads with Shifley and Wheeler. I think it's been out there for like 2 3 years, but it hasn't been nothing big until now. Cause there's been a lot of like back and forth with Wheeler and Shifley. Like them being like a good leader, but not actually good leader, cause they've been like butting heads in the locker room with other players.
Yeah, it seems like they're really missing a Dustin Buffon there. But they should to get Vince done, and if they get some veteran leadership the same way the Leafs did this offseason, I think Winnipeg could be really good in the future. All right, let's wrap up this podcast. I wanted to
Oh, one
I don't
more
know if you
thing.
guys are. Yeah, go ahead, go
One
ahead.
more thing I want to mention. I want to mention Vancouver. I think doesn't Vancouver need a defenseman? They lost like Chris Tanev and stuff, right?
Yeah, they got Quinn
And
Hughes. Is Quinn Hughes a lefty or a righty?
I think left defenseman.
Yeah, a lot of teams could use Vince Dunn. He seems like a good D man from what you guys are saying.
I feel like New Jersey could like really benefit them a lot. They got Ty Smith, and then they will have Vince Dunn. I'll want to. They could trade a receiver soon if they want. Give a good option.
Oh, Boston would be perfect. Didn't they just leave, or didn't they just lose Torrey Krug and Chara?
Please
Bro, I don't,
no.
I don't want
Please
I don't want
not
anybody
Boston.
to go to
Please
Boston.
not
No, no,
Boston.
no, no, don't say that. Don't say that.
Oh
Nobody
yeah,
to
Not
Boston
Boston.
I
ever.
take that back.
Not Boston.
Okay. So let's wrap up with Super Bowl. You guys hyped up for the Super Bowl? Not this weekend, so like next weekend. Who do you guys have going for it? Do you got Tampa Bay or do you guys got Kansas?
Bro, I'm not gonna lie. I don't watch football, so I can't pick.
But you got to pick one. Just what what
Okay, the
what
team
team
that's
name
not
sounds
Tampa Bay.
okay? Kansas City Chiefs. Okay, that's the
Yeah,
Negan's pick.
Chiefs.
What about you guys?
I got the Chiefs. I know a little bit about football, but the the sorry, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers of Tom Brady, greatest of all time. You can argue that, but he is. Look on, he had 6 rings. He could have a seventh tonight. I mean, I'm sorry, 2 Sundays from now. But I feel like Mahomes and Kelsey. So if you guys don't know these names, but I know these names. Kelsey and like all these guys can like really get going when to get going. They're really good. But apparently the Buccaneers defense is really good too. So if the Buccaneers can shut down the defense, shut down Mahomes and his offense, then it could be a real challenge for. Then it could be a Tom Brady night, but if they can, then it's gonna be a Mahomes night. So I'm betting on Mahomes getting good. So I'm betting the Chiefs.
What do you think, Armin?
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs on this because yeah, as Jaskin already mentioned, he already mentioned all my points basically. I was gonna say, but yeah, they have like Travis Kelce and like all these guys. So I think like they're gonna make a real big impact. And I don't know if Brady can win his what like eighth ring now. Like that'd be
Seventh
like
ring.
crazy.
I think it's the seventh.
Seventh ring? Okay, yeah, that'd be insane. But yeah, I still think Patrick Mahomes is gonna take home the Super Bowl.
All right, so I guess I'll be the only one to go for Tampa. Um, but it's like you guys said, man. Like Kansas City looks unstoppable. I watched them against the Bills. I wanted the Bills to win. I've always liked the Bills because they're pretty much the closest team to Toronto. They're the closest we have to a team. But the Bills got smacked around by Kansas City, man. And even I remember watching it like last year. Kansas City went off last year too. Like they're such a complete team on both defense and they're like monsters on offense. But you can never bet against the GOAT Tom Brady. I'm telling you, man. It's
That's
Tom Brady.
facts.
And the thing is,
That's facts.
he's on a mission this year. He's on a mission to prove that he did not need Bill Belichick to win those rings because everyone is saying he is a product of Bill Belichick. And this year, he's going to prove to everyone he's past 40 years old and he's going to do it without Bill Belichick. He's going to do it with his homeboy Gronk. Um, he's going to do it with quote unquote toxic teammate Antonio Brown. I'm not sure if he's going to play next week. I read some stuff about how he has like health concerns. He's been missing practice, but if Antonio Brown is there, if Gronk is playing with them, and Tom Brady, that's all they need, man. That I want them to. I want it to be a close game though. Last year's Super Bowl was pretty boring. I want to see like high offense and a tight game that we're all gonna enjoy. And I'm looking forward to the commercials as I always do with the Super Bowl. The commercials are hilarious, and the halftime show should be pretty good too, like the weekend's performing. But yeah, well, after the Super
Toronto,
Bowl,
I
we'll
mean,
sorry,
can
go ahead.
represent weekend.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Apparently, he put up like $7 million of his own money for the Super Bowl, which is crazy. Also, I don't know if you guys watched like the games last weekend, but like there were so many people in the crowd. I was like, yo, like there are people there without masks sitting in the audience, man. Like, what is this?
Well, I think they have a COVID testing before they come in. They have to show it. I think I'm pretty sure, but they should still be wearing masks just in case the test come out bad. Yeah, but that dumb, Aaron. What? It's America, man. What do you expect, right?
Yo,
It's
for real.
America.
But yeah, man. So we'll we'll see in 2 weeks. We'll come back with our predictions. I know Nadim. I know Nadim's a Tom Brady fan, so he's probably gonna be going for Tampa Bay as well. We'll find out though before the game. I think we have another episode before the next Super Bowl, so we'll talk to him then. But you guys will realize I was right. You guys are wrong as usual.
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Nah, nah, I don't know about that, but yeah, we shall see.
Sure.
We'll see. We'll see. All right, guys. We should probably wrap it up. It's been over an hour now. So that was the third episode of the Parade Planners podcast. We'll see you guys next week before Vancouver. We might have a special guest, diehard Vancouver fan, come on with us. We'll see you guys then. Go Leafs, go!